Rumors are swirling across the NFL universe, and this one might just be the most electrifying of the offseason so far. Imagine Tyreek Hill the cheetah himself in midnight green. That's right, multiple insiders and some whispers from league executives are suggesting that the Philadelphia Eagles are pushing hard behind the scenes to make what would be one of the boldest acquisitions in franchise history. Bringing Tyreek Hill to Philly, while nothing is officially confirmed, the buzz is getting too loud to ignore. There's something brewing in the city of brotherly love, and if this turns out to be true, we could be looking at an offensive juggernaut like we haven't seen since the days of Terrell Owens. In his prime, Tyreek Hill, already a Super Bowl champion and arguably the fastest man in football, would add a new terrifying layer to the Eagles' already dangerous offense. Fans are divided between excitement and skepticism. After all, it's not every day you hear that one of the league's most explosive playmakers could be heading north. But as they say, where there's smoke, there's usually fire, and right now Philly is looking a little too smoky. Let's break this down, because if you've been paying close attention to the Eagles' moves this offseason, you might have noticed a few interesting signs. First, they've been unusually quiet about their wide receiver group. Yes, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith are stars, no question about it, but there have been subtle hints from Roseman and Nick Sirianni that they're not quite done yet. Add to that the cap gymnastics Philly's front office has been pulling recently, restructuring deals, creating space, and the picture starts to take shape. Then out of nowhere, reports emerge that Tyreek Hill is unsettled in Miami, that maybe he's looking for one last big run in a championship-ready environment. Enter the Eagles. With Jalen Hurts ascending into elite territory, a coaching staff that knows how to maximize talent, and a fan base that breeds football, Philadelphia might be exactly the kind of situation that tempts a player like Hill. And don't forget, this is a team that came within inches of winning it all just recently. Could Hill be the missing piece now? Obviously, this isn't just about what the Eagles want. Tyreek Hill would have to be on board too. But here's the thing, sources close to the Dolphins say Hill has been eyeing a different challenge. Miami was fun, and yes, he got paid, but the team has struggled with consistency, especially at quarterback. Tua Tagovailoa is talented, but his health and long-term potential remain concerns. If Hill feels like time is running out on his prime, he might want to join a team with a stronger shot at a Super Bowl run. That's where the Eagles come in. Jalen Hurts is young, dynamic, and proven under pressure. Philly's offensive line is one of the best in football. Their scheme is flexible enough to highlight Hill's talents. Screens, deep routes, motion plays, and you can bet Sirianni would cook up some diabolical designs to get the ball in his hands. Plus, imagine the coverage nightmares. How do you guard A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, and Tyreek Hill? Defenses wouldn't know where to start. That alone might be enough to get Hill interested. And there's another angle here that hasn't gotten enough attention. The Eagles front office has shown time and time again that they're willing to swing big. Remember when they pulled the trigger on A.J. Brown? That trade came out of nowhere on draft night, shocking the league, and it paid off instantly. The same aggressive mentality is what made them Super Bowl contenders again. If they believe Tyreek Hill can take them over the top, they won't hesitate. In fact, insiders say Roseman has been quietly working the phones trying to gauge what kind of compensation it would take. A first-rounder maybe, a package of picks, and a player possibly. But if there's one GM who knows how to win the numbers game, it's Roseman. And let's not forget, Hill himself is no stranger to sudden moves. His exit from Kansas City was swift and unexpected. If the Eagles can offer him the right situation, winning culture, elite QB, national spotlight, who's to say he wouldn't jump ship again? But what about the Dolphins? Would they really let go of their prized speedster? That's where things get tricky. Miami isn't eager to lose Hill, that's obvious, but there are whispers about internal tensions. Some say Hill isn't vibing with the coaching staff the way he did in year one. Others point to frustrations with the offensive stagnation late last season. Still, others believe it's about more than football. That Hill might want a fresh start, a new environment where he can reset the narrative and chase another ring. Miami might demand a high price, but if Hill pushes for the move, their hands could be tied. And with the Eagles having draft capital and young talent to offer, a deal isn't out of the question. Philly has always been willing to part with assets for proven stars. If the relationship in Miami is indeed souring, this might be the perfect moment for both sides to move on and for the Eagles to pounce. Eagles fans are already dreaming about the possibilities. Social media is ablaze with photoshopped images of Hill in an Eagles jersey, speculation videos, and heated debates. Some fans are saying this is the kind of move that turns a contender into a dynasty. Others are more cautious, worrying about the cost, the locker room fit, or Hill's long-term contract. But one thing is undeniable, the hype is real, even. Former players are chiming in. One ex-Eagle tweeted that TYREEK in Philly would break the league. Another called it the move that makes sense if the Birds want rings, not stats. That's the sentiment here. The Eagles aren't rebuilding, they're reloading. And they might see Hill as the final bullet in the chamber. The excitement, the energy, the what-ifs, it all feels like something is happening, even if no one will say it on the record just yet. In a league full of surprises, this one feels too perfect to ignore. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Now, some skeptics are pointing to the salary cap as a hurdle. After all, Hill isn't cheap. His deal with Miami was massive and he's not exactly looking for a pay cut. But here's the kicker, the Eagles can make it work. They've proven time and again that the cap is more of a guideline than a rule. Creative restructuring, future bonuses, void years, all tools that Roseman has used before. If Hill wants to come and if Miami is willing to talk, Philly has the financial wizardry to get it done. And remember, the Eagles aren't just playing for one season. They're building a legacy. Pairing Hurts with Hill wouldn't just make them scary in 2025. It could set the tone for years to come. This is about vision, about legacy, about staking a claim as the NFL's next true dynasty. It's bold, it's risky, but it's very Philly. There's also the cultural fit to consider, and this is where things get interesting. TYREEK Hill is a big personality. He plays with swagger, talks with confidence, and demands the spotlight. Some franchises might see that as a challenge. The Eagles see it as fuel. Think about their recent rosters, big names, big attitudes, big moments. They thrive on it. Philly isn't afraid of star power. They embrace it, with veterans in the locker room who know how to win and a coaching staff that commands respect. Hill wouldn't be a distraction. He'd be a weapon. The energy he brings could actually elevate the team's intensity. And the fans, oh, they'd love him. Philly fans respect hustle, heart, and highlight reels. Hill delivers all three. If he buys in, he could become a legend in the city, not just another star, but an icon. A parade down Broad Street with TYREEK Hill leading the charge. That's the dream. Let's also talk X's and O's for a second, because this is where the real football nerds get excited. Imagine the playbook possibilities with Hill in the mix. You could run for verticals with A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, and Hill. Defenses would have no chance. Or stack Hill and Smith on one side and create mismatches with motion and screens. Jet sweeps are POS double reverses. Hill thrives in chaos and Sirianni knows how to create it. And then there's the simple truth no one in the league can match Hill's speed. That changes the geometry of the field. Safeties have to drop deeper, linebackers get stretched, and the run game opens up. Every play becomes a threat to score, and with Jalen Hurts' mobility, good luck stopping that. If the Eagles are serious about innovation and explosion, Hill is the ultimate tool in the shed. Of course, as with any rumor, we have to acknowledge the unknowns. Nothing signed, sealed, or delivered. Not yet. But all signs point to serious interest, and when the Eagles get serious, things tend to happen fast. This isn't a random Twitter rumor. It's coming from people close to the team, former players, respected reporters. There's weight behind it. And even if it doesn't happen today or tomorrow, the conversations are happening. The Eagles want another weapon. Hill might want another shot. The timing, the need, the opportunity, it all lines up. So while fans wait, speculate, and refresh their feeds, one thing is certain: this isn't going away. Whether it's smoke or fire, the Hill to Philly saga is the story of the moment. And if it happens, it'll shake the NFL to its core. So buckle up, Birds fans. Whether you're a believer, a doubter, or just along for the ride, this is one of those moments where anything feels possible. TYREEK Hill in green and white, it sounds like a fantasy, a video game dream. But in today's NFL, with trades, cap tricks, and player movement more fluid than ever, it's far from impossible.